Hey guys, welcome to a Arms Warrior gameplay through guide. Today we're going a little over, sorry about the fan right here, just turn that off real quick. We're going to go over how to play an Arms Warrior in a PvE setting. Now granted I am in full PvP gear, but this is just to show off how much damage Arms Warriors are currently doing. And turn down the volume here. I really like the Warcraft music, so we're gonna have Warcraft music in the background. But anyway, turn that on. I'm actually going to turn DBM off because DBM had been causing me some trouble. So what we're gonna do here is go /DBM, go to options, general options, disable. But yeah, Arms Warriors this is what I want to main in Legion, and just from the way they currently look, I am really looking forward to the spec. Like, Skill Wind is still going to be here for Arms Warriors, and I believe they're fixing Slice and Dice, so that's always cool. I am running into a little bit of a cold, so sorry in advance about the sniffling. But, so Arms Warriors are best on cleave fights, and I figured UBRS would be good to show off because the second boss is more of a little bit of a cleave boss. First boss is single target. Kill this cannon real quick. I am using the Cloud Song Glaive from Warlords Challenge Modes. You can check out my other video in the description below on Warlords versus Legion on the challenge modes and what they plan to bring. So that'll be cool. Bladestorm is the best talent ever. You just spin for forever. There's a Cloud Song Glaive. I'm using the Grievous set from Mop with the Cloud Song Glaive. I find it looks kind of neat.
Who dares disturb my research?
So unfortunately, Whirlwind is a filler ability for warriors, but Legion looks promising because looking at Asmongold's videos, we're not going to have enough rage to know what to do with. So they're basically going to make it so that way you can pick your talents on whether you want to rage dump on execute or rage dump with overpower. It'll be interesting to see. And if I get into the Legion beta, I will let you guys know a little bit about how the warrior is playing out. Now the things that are flashing my spells, that add-on is called Bitten's Spell Flash from curse.com. I'll put a link to that in the description below. They keep that updated with a guide on a way to do good DPS, but it is not always the best thing to follow. They have one for every class. Like right now it's asking me to use Whirlwind or Bladestorm, but I want to keep Bladestorm for the boss. Because Bladestorms, if you sweeping strike with the Bladestorm, by the way, the Bladestorm is kind of like a Fury Warrior. It will put a secondary like blade-like damage onto the target. So we are going to cleave off of this guy.
Excellent. More raw materials.
If we can tell, a lot more damage is going out, and after the fight I will put up the what my damage did to show you that
I can feel the
Blade
vital
Storm
tapes flowing
actually works
through
with
me.
sweeping strikes. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the lower health mobs here. It's another thing Arms excels at extremely well, is after 20% executes. They are extremely useful because you can consume
Please,
up to 40 rage
purpose me.
per execute to do an increased damage. Attempt to finish off a foe, causing 52,000 physical damage to the target and consuming up to 30 additional rage to deal up to 156,000 additional damage. So, as we can tell, Sweeping Strikes did 13% of my damage, and Blade Storm did 16%. So the 13%, yes, it was tacked with Mortal Strike and other things, but there were 30 hits. The majority of those 30 hits came from the Blade Storm. If we can tell here, I'm going to just have Blade Storm and Sweeping Strikes. There we go. I really love how Arms Warriors are just AoE cleave. That's literally all they're used for, and it is amazing. And here's another thing. I hope that Legion at least changes a little bit. Our group hasn't talked once with chat on CCing anything, and the community's just gone a little, like, no one talks to each other anymore. I hope in Legion you at least have to use the chat to, like, you know, CC this, CC that, so it at least, you know, helps people know
Commander
not to hit it.
Bob,
Because at the
seems
beginning of
your
this
troops
expansion
have
you
allowed
had
a
to
group of
CC
biblical
things,
heroes
but
to
now you
sneak
don't.
past them.
I apologize
Oh,
for this
here's a
failure,
funny thing.
Warlord Zayla.
For
The Iron Marks will take care of
that
these
little door there,
intruders.
you can just run back and forth against that door
Iron Marks,
and
kill them,
pull the
or I will
mobs.
kill you.
Kill the one in the dress. Well done, Commander. But it seems the intruders are still quite alive.
What? Unacceptable! Kill them, you fools!
Where's the
This is
bird?
pitiful.
Someone probably
Do
killed
your
the
men
bird.
not know where the sharp part of the axe goes?
I don't understand. These intruders fight with the fury
But yeah,
of
always
gods
having
and
Whirlwind and Sweeping Strikes
Hear
up,
no more of these
or at least
excuses.
Sweeping Strikes,
I am going to go prepare
makes
the
the
weapon.
majority
Take
of
care
your
these
targets hit more than
invaders.
one target.
I will
And there is
show
a
you how
talent,
true orc deals with failure.
sorry, not a talent, a glyph called
I
Sweeping
will
Strikes,
handle it personally. Fetch my
where
mounts.
when you
I
hit
am
a
tired
target
of
with
watching
Sweeping Strikes, you gain
peons
1 rage.
disgrace my iron
Now,
horde.
I find that would be pretty helpful on fights like Kilrog or Hellfire Council currently. Right there we're using a Recklessness and a Blade Storm. And because that other guy died real quick and easy, Mortal Strikes hit like a truck in here. Go ahead and jump through the door, because, you know, Blizzard logic. I really love the Cloud Sound Glaive, just the way it looks. Because I got a Mog. If we zoom in here, makes it look really nice. And the way warriors hold pole arms is kind of interesting. It's another reason to have that. charge in sweeping strikes, executes. Everything about this spec is amazing. Also using the anger management talent for all rage that you spend basically makes your stuff come up quicker. I hope in a way they're going to make it so that way at least everything you hit with a whirlwind or something like that, like every mob you hit reduces it by 1 rage or something. That would be interesting. Now the only reason I'm typing here is because I didn't know we were coming over here, because no one said anything about Leroy. Money? What do you need money for? I'm so confused. Right there, I used intercept to my advantage. Now we're going to use heroic leap to jump over that. Warriors have so much mobility, and people don't understand that. Like right there, I can easily get out of stuns. Like you have the human racial is going to be changed in Legion, but Berserking Rage, you go berserk, removing and granting immunity to fear, sap, and incapacitated effects for 6 seconds. So even though the human racial is getting a nerf, I still feel like warriors are going to be a little overpowered because of right there. That is just going to be very interesting to me, how they eventually play that out. Now the way I've always been told to play a warrior, there's no real set rotation, but every time you're inside Colossus Smash, you want to be using Mortal Strike, and if you have an execute proc, use it. Otherwise, you are wanting to pool rage, and then when Colossus Smash comes back off cooldown, hit it, and then hit Mortal Strike, execute. I did all of that before Colossus Smash ran off. Oh, disabled the UI feature there. I love execute damage. 160k. And granted, I am not stacking all crit. This is all mastery. Because I always stack mastery, crit, haste. That's just me. I was told haste is bad for an arms warrior, but haste lets your cooldowns come up faster. So, in a way, it is better. Then in a way, it's not better. Now after this boss, I will go through a little bit of the talents and glyphs. Of how I at least PvE. Let's back off here because the tank decided to pull. the boss. It's okay, it's a perfect time to use the Sweeping Strike's Blade Storm again. But yeah, basically we are pooling rage right now. And now that Warlord Zayla is going on to her mount, we are going to be running around and just pooling all the rage. Waiting on her to come back up. There she is. Now obviously Sweeping Strikes and Blade Storm isn't going to do much on this boss. Like, the only time we noticed it was during the first little bit.
I'm sorry, girls.
But yeah, anyway, the little bit of talents and glyphs that I use. I'm using Glyph of Unending Rage, Heroic Leap, and Bull Rush. And you could obviously swap that out with Sweeping Strikes or Rallying Cry for a health drain, or I mean, you could even swap it with this if you want a little more survivability, because it does 25% reduced damage. And for minor glyphs, I'm just using Glyph of Blazing Charge and Crow Feast, and I could probably go with Thunderclap if I wanted to, but all those are normally situational. And for my talents, I am using, if we're gonna go ahead and hearth out of here so it makes it look like, you know, you're not being silly. For the talents, I am using Double Time, Enraged Regeneration, Sudden Death, Storm Bolt, which you could easily swap out with Shockwave, Vigilance. All 75 tier talents are to your liking. I usually use Safeguard or Mass Spell Reflection because I only BG on this tune. Blade Storm. As Asmongold has stated, if you do not have Blade Storm, you are doing something wrong. Because Blade Storm is the funniest crap ever. It literally, like, if you're stuck in one place, you use Blade Storm and you're out. And Hunter Traps can't do anything to you. You're completely invulnerable to everything. Anger Management, level 100. Don't go with those other two. I mean, you can use this in Eye of the Storm if you want to, but that's only on a rare occasion. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and have fun on your arms, warrior.